All right. Hi, it's Sam and Amy here again from Denim Dudes, and this time Sam's background reflects what we're going to talk about. Everyone is staying at home, and we've called this one Cozy Cult, but yeah, we're talking about the sort of, I guess, the shift that's happening where, I mean, I don't know about you, I'm wearing jeans today, but I have not been wearing jeans a hell of a lot. And we want to talk about like the shift that's happening out there in the apparel industry and in the denim industry, and some of the brands that we're inspired by that have kind of like adopted more like looser shapes and silhouettes and more comfortable clothing. And Greg Dashen here is our poster boy for that. What we got? Camp High in here, we haven't we?
We have, yeah. So we can talk about them a little bit more later.
Excellent.
So.
Ah, yes. Atelier Delphine. Where are they based? Do you know?
They're based out in LA. So it's a Japanese woman that's based in LA. And she's been running the brand, I think it's since about 2011. And
yeah.
It's all kind of like about craft. It's all locally made. She uses a lot of upcycled fabrics, like the kimono jacket on the right-hand side there. That's all made from upcycled denim. So it's recycled. I can't remember. I think they're called Hanoi jackets or something like that. It's a different kind of version of it. It's a bit more kind of like lofty and loose. That's what really kind of like exemplifies in like a lot of her designs, are these kind of like cozy fits that are sort of supposed to be kind of worn around the house, but a bit more of kind of like a luxurious kind of take on it. And it is very kind of like LA lifestyle boutique kind of vibe.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like she you know, at the moment there seems to be a really strong trend for that kind of like languid, floaty, billowy, airy kind of vibe. But it is, again, it's quite clean and it's quite sophisticated, and it is very much like instead of like the day to night, this is the in to out, isn't it, kind of thing.
Yeah. And I think a lot of what we're going to be talking about in our pause story as well, it's about being stuck inside. Obviously, the impacts of what's sort of happening with the crisis at the moment, that people kind of stuck inside. They obviously want to be wearing comfy fits, but they also want something that's going to look good as well. Obviously, everyone's doing, like, meetings or going out and doing like their daily errands and things. So people want to have sort of functional garments that perform both in the house as well as being outside.
Exactly. And she obviously, like what she does, like you said, about her craft element to her brand as well, sits in with the you know, the other discussion we had about the rise of craft. So she's a great designer to watch in general for a lot of reasons, really. Which reminds me of 69. Like when we were looking, I mean, obviously we've mentioned 69 a few times in the previous seasons. And they do a very similar thing. Like what she does reminds me of what they do. I think what they do is a little bit more like playful, and a little bit more kind of counterculture. The designer, you know, very much, you know, her purpose is that it's about a kind of gender neutral and more avant-garde, you know, company and aesthetic than maybe Atelier Delphine. But and so their shoots are more fun and more playful and more silly, and more outrageous, I think. But it's got a very similar vibe to it, and you see it in some of the same boutiques, I think, as Atelier Delphine.
And I think one of the messages, I guess, across both these brands are those kind of like oversized fits. Obviously, the ones we've got on the page are quite exaggerated, but that kind of more billowed fit, lightweight fabrics, where it's got this more kind of like fluid and like easy to wear, almost like pajama kind of like volume to it. Really kind of speaks to this like staying at home kind of cozy vibe.
Yeah, tactility and comfort, and yeah, again, that jacket shape is very, very similar as well. Yeah, they're a great brand, I think, and yeah, really kind of like avant-garde but stylish.
And anyone who's a true denim head will be sleeping in denim just like them, right?
Yeah, exactly. I know I've got denim duvet. Yay, Greg!
From Camp High Collective, and they launched, I think, only a couple of years ago, and
really
blew up was it was, what's his name, your favorite guy, John Mayer.
Yeah, John Mayer.
set of theirs, it's like, I can't remember what they called it. It's like a Himalayan something set that they call it, but they do a lot of these kind of coordinated sets. And there was a picture of John Mayer sat in a circle of these Visvim sandals, and he was wearing one of the Camp High Collective things. And so immediately the brand blew up.
Was that for GQ? It was a shoot for GQ or something, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was a whole sort of editorial on John Mayer. He was wearing things like Visvim and the other kind of brands like he wears. And I guess a lot of what Greg does kind of speaks to that, like having these kind of kimono shapes and things. A lot of kind of, tactile fabrics in there. And I love all the washes that they do as well. And it is really kind of inspired by this cozy lifestyle, what they sort of brand themselves for.
He's been really interesting in the moment as well. Like, in a way, he is the poster boy, and his brand is the poster boy of what's happening right now, because I think as a brand, he has really sort of encapsulated the lifestyle side of this as well. So, you know, if you follow his personal Instagram or the Camp High Collective Instagram, you know, it's about staying happy, staying safe, staying healthy. He has like little workout videos in there, and it's just it's all about kind of the holistic side of this as well, the whole cozy life. So he's a great kind of like advocate for all of that stuff.
And I think he was previously working in Burton, where he was creative director there. And then the guy who he runs it with, I was reading, and he's an ex-Supreme designer. So obviously they've got that kind of crossover with sort of streetwear, as well as this new kind of aesthetic of what they're kind of like creating as well, which I really love.
Yeah, definitely. He's kind of like it's like après ski meets streetwear.
And definitely kind of appeals to that older kind of guy as well, who might not want to wear sort of the younger kind of streetwear brands. So it's sort of like appealing to that guy who still wants to look kind of like cool, but then comfortable as well.
Yeah, definitely. He's a legend. We love him. Oh, and then Noughts. I thought this was really interesting. Like, we have this interview on the website, actually. Eleanor from Noughts, she lives just down the road from me. And when I interviewed her maybe a year or so ago, it was very interesting, like, especially now, given the considerations that we have with being indoors the whole time. She talks about the fact that if you look back at history and the way we used to dress 100 years ago, 200 years ago, and you know, even 50 years ago compared to now, you know, the casualization of modern clothing and the way that we dress. And so she was basically saying that she feels like she, you know, denim and indigo, she, you know, she adores and she loves the way that it wears, etc., etc. But she felt that the comfort level, which is so true. I mean, I saw a meme the other day that was just like, if you're wearing jeans indoors, what are you trying to prove? Which I thought was really funny. And like, she's basically saying, I love the idea of jeans, but I don't like the feeling, and I don't like the, you know, the comfort level. So she's sort of trying to bring that in. And I feel like, you know, doing knit indigo ticks that box, but also obviously there's a lot of you know, technical advances with, you know, super soft denims, open weaves, lighter weights, fluidity, as well as knit indigos. So there's lots of different ways to go, but I think it is important thinking about tactility at a time like this, for sure.
Yeah, I think, we've been seeing a lot of sort of movement towards non-stretch denims recently as well. So could it be that the influence of what's happening at the moment and sort of like cozy attire coming back, is there going to be sort of more of a focus on these sort of...
Yeah, maybe it might shift
how
the needle.
would the kind of impact be on it?
Yeah, for sure. It is interesting.
Going to come back again.
Say that again?
The jog jean. Are we going to get a return of the jog jean?
Yeah, I know. Is it too soon, or is it not soon enough? I don't know. Oh dear. Oh yeah, an Anglan shop. These guys are based in Korea, and I don't know if they're in Seoul. I'm guessing they're in Seoul. But it's kind of interesting. We were talking about the idea of volume, especially like with brands like 69, and these guys are very much like become known for their like really big, oversized, baggy fits, and also this sort of like sloppy. and gender neutral, you know, unisex aesthetic too. You often see in a lot of their shoots, they've got two guys or two girls, or a guy and a girl in like matching outfits as well, which I know that like team dressing is very big in Korea. But yeah, we just love this sort of sloppy languid style and silhouette as well. Something that we did explore in one of our stories. So yeah, loving their stuff at the moment. There's a lot of influencers I feel coming out of Korea that are wearing this style and a very kind of big baggy fluid. It's like a really like key trend that's coming out of Korea at the moment, right?
Yeah, I think it's a nice kind of like move on for kind of workwear styling at the moment as well. Like these super oversized fits, like you said, we've seen brands like Story doing it. But it definitely gives it a new kind of like concept look to it, especially some of like the exaggerated details. Like you can see the jacket on the left hand side there with like those super oversized pockets, and even on the jeans on the right where it's got a kind of slight little bit of like a curve on the outseam there.
Yeah,
it on and makes it look a bit more kind of progressive, I guess.
That kind of, I feel like that sort of tulip shape, we're seeing that coming through for pant shapes, especially for women, but also in men, you know, the more directional guy as well. So it'll be interesting seeing how that evolves. But no, it is, you're right, it's a nice, I like the idea of exaggerated, you know, proportion, and it giving a kind of modernist take on workwear, which has obviously changed so much in the last 100 years.
And I think with all the brands that we sort of highlighted here as well, there's that idea of sort of like the coordinated sets as well. And obviously that kind of like speaks to like, sort of pajama kind of styling, or the new...
And smarter. Yeah. It kind of does both. It does pajama and it does this sort of idea of the suit set, you know, it's like the updated kind of, suit set.
So I think that one's the last one actually. So that was a quick one.
I think it is, yeah. So that was our sort of like super cozy casual take on indoor dressing. I hope you've enjoyed these little videos. We've enjoyed putting them together. And stay safe, stay warm, stay cozy.
I'm going to fall asleep now.
Yeah, you can go back to sleep, Sam, now. See ya.
Bye.